Welcome to NextGen Timber, where giant trees, dangerous cuts, powerful logging trucks, harvesters, skidders, and raw forest pressure collide in some of the toughest timber operations on Earth. This is not clean factory work. This is the real forest, where every machine is tested by weight, terrain, weather, gravity, and timing. Logging jobs can shift from controlled to dangerous in seconds. That is the part many viewers underestimate. The forest does not give warning twice. Once the weight starts moving the wrong way, every reaction has to be fast and correct. The crew finally succeeds in bringing down a difficult tree after struggling to cut it cleanly. From the outside, it may look like one more tree falling to the ground. But anyone who understands logging knows this kind of job drains both strength and focus. Gravity is constantly working against the operator's plan. A giant birch is not just heavy. Once it starts leaning, it becomes a massive lever, pulling against the cut, shifting its weight, and forcing the crew to read every movement before it turns into a mistake. Then the view moves high into the canopy, and right from the beginning, the height alone is enough to make most people freeze. Nearly 200 feet above the ground, these tree care specialists keep working with chainsaws, ropes, and precision cuts in extreme conditions. Every movement has to be controlled. Every rope has to be trusted. Every cut has to be planned before the saw touches the wood. At that height, even a small mistake can become serious almost instantly, and that is why this work demands more than courage. It demands discipline, experience, and a calm mind under pressure. Next, the Kenworth log truck rolls in with that classic long-nose design. It is not only about looks. That layout helps distribute weight better and improves pulling performance when hauling heavy timber through steep grades, rough roads, and unstable forest terrain. A truck like this is built for hard miles, heavy loads, and roads that do not forgive weak equipment. In timber hauling, power matters, but balance, traction, and control matter just as much. Then the atmosphere shifts completely. High above Troll, nearly 1,700 meters up, surrounded by more than 1,300 spectators. The entire event feels less like ordinary forestry work and more like a motorsport arena. The sound of machines, the pressure from the crowd, and the tension in the air all build before the equipment even starts moving. It shows how far forestry culture can go when machines, skill, and competition come together in one extreme environment. Then the smaller quarter branch cutter proves that size does not always decide capability. The blade moves through branches so quickly and smoothly that the whole process becomes strangely satisfying to watch. It may not be the biggest machine in the forest, but it does exactly what it was built to do. In forestry, smart design can be just as valuable as raw horsepower. The old hurdle system reminds everyone that older forestry equipment still has real value. Modern machines may be faster, more comfortable, and more advanced, but older mechanical systems carry a kind of raw simplicity that still works incredibly well in difficult conditions. Fewer electronics, fewer complications, and strong mechanical design can keep a machine useful long after newer equipment has taken over the spotlight. That is exactly why large trees near power lines require constant maintenance. One uncontrolled branch, one damaged trunk, or one storm-weakened limb can be enough to shut down power or trigger a major accident. Tree work near infrastructure is not just about clearing wood. It is about preventing failure before it reaches people, roads, homes, or electrical systems. The moment the excavator joins the operation, the entire tension level changes. Now, it is not just chainsaw work anymore. It becomes a coordinated battle between machine force, tree weight, ground angle, and timing. The excavator adds power, but it also adds responsibility. If the timing is wrong, the force can make the situation worse. If the timing is right, it can guide the tree exactly where it needs to go. Then the twin-turbocharged V8 chipper setup pushes everything into another level of industrial forestry. With around 680 horsepower feeding logs into the chipper at full speed, the scene becomes pure mechanical force. Whole trunks disappear into the machine within seconds and come out transformed into chips almost instantly. It is loud, aggressive, and brutally efficient. The kind of machine that shows how modern timber processing has moved far beyond hand tools and slow labor. The Rayco RT120 proves how modern forestry technology is changing vegetation management. With roughly 120 horsepower and a strong hydraulic system, this machine turns dense brush and thick forest growth into manageable ground fast. Jobs that once required large crews, long hours, and exhausting manual work can now be handled by one skilled machine operator. That is the real power of forestry innovation: less wasted labor, faster clearing, and better control in difficult terrain. Next comes a storm-damaged tree already weakened by rot. That combination makes every cut unpredictable because the internal structure of the wood can fail without warning. Rotten timber never falls like healthy timber. It can split, twist, collapse, or break in ways the operator cannot fully see from the outside. This is where experience matters, because the danger is often hidden inside the trunk before the first cut is even made. Then a smaller harvesting machine takes over. It may not be the biggest processor in the woods, but the cutting system still works with impressive speed and precision. Smaller forestry equipment survives because it can maneuver where larger harvesters cannot. In tight spaces, steep ground, and uneven forest conditions, compact machines can sometimes do the job better than a giant machine that has nowhere to move. Then comes one of those chaotic moments where everyone suddenly realizes something has gone wrong. People are shouting, structures are shaking, and operators are trying to stop the situation before it gets worse. Then industrial timber production takes over completely. Processing up to 140 cubic meters of wood every hour is not small-scale forestry anymore. That is industrial-level production, where timber moves through the system continuously like a factory line inside the forest. Every log has a path. Every machine has a role. Every second of downtime costs output. This is forestry at scale, where raw wood becomes a moving production system. Then the terrain itself becomes the challenge. It feels like a roller coaster built inside the forest. The ground is uneven, the machine keeps shifting, and every movement reminds you how unforgiving mountain logging really is. Operators are not only controlling the machine, they are constantly reading the slope, the ground pressure, the tree weight, and the risk of sliding or tipping. In places like this, the terrain is not just background. It is one of the hardest opponents on the job. What makes forestry work different from most industries is the constant combination of power and danger. Operators fight gravity, unstable trees, weather, machine limits, rough terrain, and heavy timber all at the same time. Every cut matters. Every movement has consequences. Every decision can either keep the job under control or push it toward failure. That is why real forestry work demands skill, patience, and respect for the forces involved. That is NextGen Timber. Towering trees, dangerous slopes, twin-turbo forestry machines, massive log trucks, industrial wood processing, storm-damaged timber, and operators pushing through conditions most people would never step into. If you enjoy real logging action, forestry technology, heavy equipment, timber operations, and raw moments from deep inside the woods, subscribe to NextGen Timber now. Turn on notifications so you do not miss the next extreme forestry operation, because every episode brings another look at the machines and people shaping the future of timber work.